Hi guys, so Boris Johnson is playing with fire. He's playing a very dangerous game. This was perfectly highlighted by Labour MP Chris Bryant, who's also the chairman of the Standards Committee. Now, he's been calling out the Prime Minister's behaviour for some time. The lying, the misleading of Parliament, and the latest episode which saw a mob harassing the leader of the opposition, which is clearly linked to the Prime Minister's comments. Chris also indicated that the longer this goes on, the closer the UK gets to seeing something similar to the episode that played out in January in Washington last year.
So last Monday, the Prime Minister was in terrible problems because he knew that many Tory MPs were absolutely furious with him for all that had gone on in Downing Street, the chaos and the lying to Parliament. And so he had a conversation with his advisers before he came to the House of Commons, and somebody suggested perhaps that he would raise this matter, this conspiracy theory, which has normally come from the very far right. And his advisers said, no, you mustn't do it. That's not a proper way to proceed. And yet he deliberately did so. And to me, that's the key point here. It is deliberate. It's not accidental. It's an attempt to incite a mob, either online or physically in person. And the thing is, we know how this plays out when politicians go down this deeply cynical route, because we saw it in the United States of America. It's exactly the same as Donald Trump's playbook. It's profoundly dangerous. If, in an attempt to poison your enemy, you put more poison in the well, the whole of politics gets poisoned.
Yes, the whole of politics gets poisoned, but Boris Johnson does not care. This is all about protecting himself. Just try to think what was going through his mind at the time. Okay, I'm going to say this thing that's going to damage Keir Starmer. I'm going to do it in the House of Commons because I know I can get away with it there. And I won't have to apologise because it's in the House of Commons, and I don't apologise in the House of Commons. Or if I do, I don't have to mean it. I don't correct the record. And I can get away with it. And I think that was Johnson's thinking. I don't think he actually thought it would blow up like this. Because he knows there's a certain section of society that would believe this, do believe it, and will continue to believe it, no matter what evidence is presented against it. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the damage he's doing to Keir Starmer. He doesn't care about the damage he's doing to politics, to his own party. It's all about himself. And it is like Donald Trump in a sense. Trump, the narcissist, was willing to say anything and do anything in order to protect his position. And Boris Johnson is doing exactly the same thing. Now, will Johnson apologise? He may eventually apologise for anyone being offended, or apologise for the reaction that people had, but I don't think he's going to truly apologise and say, I'm sorry, I should not have said that, because he doesn't care. And I think he's afraid that he may appear weak to a certain wing of the party, the ERG types, who would see it as weakness. They don't care about Keir Starmer. They would actually applaud this type of behaviour. They would see it as, fair game. Whatever it takes to remain in power, to get Brexit done. These are the people who, for them, lying is part and parcel of politics. And lying to the public, using whatever underhanded tools possible in order to stay in power. That's perfectly acceptable. And for these types of people, it's perfectly acceptable to use these types of lies. Disgusting behaviour. For them, it's not problematic whatsoever. So at the time of making this video, Boris Johnson had not apologised. I doubt he will. Perhaps he will, but it will not be a true apology. And it'll be interesting to see what happens at Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.